our feet about hip width apart, so we don't want them too far out. Just right under. We're going to bend our knees. And the first thing we're going to do is squeeze and tuck the pelvis up by squeezing both legs at the same time. Awesome. After we do that, we're going to hold the squeeze, and then we're going to try to flex and get just that right hip to go. So, if I release, I'm not really in my dancer position, but when I squeeze, my hip bones lift up. Then I'm going to utilize that squeeze to try to get it just into one hip. Yes, perfect. Once we get it into one hip, we start understanding how that muscle is going to contract and find the hip up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's super tiny, it doesn't have to be big, but that's excellent. So we start with the dooms, and we'll do 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Thanks, Jeff. So we're going to start with the top and bring some hips up, relax, up, relax, up, relax. Now from this up, we're just going to hold. Right, yes, yes, good for you. Yes. Other side, left. It's okay if the left is harder than the right, or vice versa. Good, let's do 4, slow. 4, 3, 2, switch. 4, 3, 2, double time after 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 2, single, single. Now let's drop the arms to the bottom. Lift the elbows, breathe in, let the arms rise up to the top. Hold, and let, breathe first. Breathe in, breathe out, drop the arms, excellent. Breathe into the front, cross the center, good, 2 hits, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, tight, tight. Let's drop the arms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yourself, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, you're moving great, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Those doubles in there. Good job, good job. Now, when we go to take a movement, you're going to walk forward with your knees bent, and we're going to try to hit those double hits. So in the beginning, just to study, I want you to think the first hit comes on the heel, second hit comes on the toe. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. One thing I'm not doing is I'm not turning my toes in and off, keeping my hips super parallel and small. Everything can be super small. So with the knees bent, it goes push down in the heel, push down in the toe. Push down in the heel, push down in the toe. The reason why we say heel toe is because that's the natural order of the walk, of the folkloric walk, right? So we want the foot to kind of curve. So let's scoot back so we have some space to go forward. Perfect, heel, here we go. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Take some patience. So we're going front, middle, back, middle. Let's try 10 times. Yes, front, middle, back, middle. Front, middle, back, middle. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2. Good job. What we don't want is the hips to go down and the chest to slide back. Pull it back and here. It's going to open up your lower back, really let you push those feet into the ground. And then the only other thing you have to remember for now, in our beginner level, is keep your feet flat on the floor and keep those knees bent. You don't walk around like this, but we're definitely going to let our hips get a little sway like that. Good. So if you don't have your knees bent, we'll have our legs straight and we'll work on our slide. Now slide is easy enough, but to really master the move, you must feel the lat and the upper body. The lat is the muscle that kind of does the same. We were just kind of tilting the hips back and forth, so we want the shoulders to have that same pull down. So when I slide my hip out to the right side, the same side, the right lat, must meet that slide. Then when I go to the opposite side, the opposite lat must push down, meet on top of the hip. So it's not enough just to change your weight. You have to change your weight with an upper body compression, right? So my arms are going to go forward to the diagonal, and I'm going to press my lat down. So even though you see the hip going to the side, you really want to feel this push down under the armpit. Push down. There you go, perfect, push down. And again, when we talk about shape, everything is about shape. So if you have this nice little curve, you're creating a shape. Awesome. If I don't have the shape, it means I'm not pulling it back. I arrive in the center, and then I pull back. I arrive in the center, and then I pull back. Looks really nice. Let's do it together. Slow. pulling the legs together and keeping the space between the knees and the hips. No space. Keeping the space not there. No space. Don't keep the space. Right? So if you're doing too much circles and you feel your pelvis kind of sliding around in their space, it's weird because you're going to kind of stiffen it all up by squeezing it in towards the center. And I legitimately just have my legs together. Bring your legs a little bit closer. There you go. Yeah, like your knees are almost touching. And so when you go around the circle, yeah, pull it into your belly button. Release. Pull it in. Excellent. And release. If we break down the circular move, the circle is not in the hips. The hips are a little bit more like an egg or an oval shape, or what I like to picture in my mind is like a kite. It's a tiny triangle to the front, and then a big triangle to the back. So I go diagonal, diagonal, and then the hips, big diagonal back, big diagonal back. So what's the circle part? The circle part is happening down there in the change of weight. I go circle around to my toes, side of the foot into the heels, around to the toes, side of the foot into the heels. Excellent. So it's confusing ups, but the circle is down there, right? The shape, kind of like a triangle. Perfect. And I see you following that shape just really well. When you go back, remember to breathe in. That helps you get a little extra pull into the belly, and then out. As you come around, in as you go to the back. Let's go the other direction. As we go forward, we exhale, and then we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Awesome. Exhale, inhale. So, in the typical hip circle, we follow a center point that's between the two legs. So if I do a more non-typical hip circle, maybe I want to follow the circle that's only over one leg, right? So for now, just pick up, balance your line straight under this leg. This one's kind of going off to the side. It's not going to be working. And we're going to think of this forward, out. I don't have to go out too far. Back. And then really pull it in. Forward. Side. Side's not too much. The side's almost straight. Back. And really pull it in. 1. In. 2. In. 3. In. 4. Sorry, Jeff, we're not right there. And then when we're at the side here, 1, 2, 3 and a half, that's the half, we might switch over to the other leg. When we do, don't switch over here, go to a straight leg. Straight leg is very important in the dance, right? So not a curvy hip, not yet, because we have forward, out, and then big back and in. Forward, out, big back and in. That's number 3. And big back and in on number half. 3 and a half, 4 and a half, right? You're just going to wait till we go to the other side. 1, and 2, and 3, and half, and then we switch. 1, and 2, and 3, and only half, and we'll go with Jeff. And as like I'm creating a curve, but I'm actually bending my knee. My knee is dropping down into the center, and then on my count of 4, it's going to come straight up. Excellent. So I'm on my right side, I plie down, 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 down. I get straight up on the left here. The thing I want you not to do is go there. There should be no curve at the end, and then it'll take like for you to kind of pull back a little bit, but down and then go straight up. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Then just 2 counts. 1, 2, 1, 2. Down, up, down, up, and then faster. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good, 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 good. Just a little bit. You're twisting. So just try to be real flat for now. Yeah, so you just don't hurt the hips. Yeah. And the one thing I want to mention is when this knee is coming down, yes, that's what it is. It has to pull away like a down, and then you just go straight back up to me. Yes, that's it. Down, 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 up. Down, 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 up. Down, 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 down. Yes. Okay. Really nice. So we'll do it with the music, and we'll go down and down and turn on your tempo just a little bit. Down. Slower. So we normally call this like a hip drop, and that's because I have resistance into the floor, and then the drop comes when I stop the resistance. So I have action in action, action in action. Action is forcing my weight down and seeing the result, I'm still using my lat, and then inaction gets a big juicy fall. And I think sometimes it might be hard for us to really plop around. So if you're new to belly dance, think of the word plop, 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 and see if you can find something that looks more like a plop than a right? I want to drop it from the very top floor. Yes! And. Good. Regardless of what you see on this leg, if you see fabric that jiggles or flesh that jiggles, when I'm in a kickstand position, I will not manipulate this hip, a part of this one. So I'm not going to go like this ever. I'm not going to go up and then come up on the other hip. I basically am isolating a singular hip to go up and down on only one. That's why I have two different postures in the leg. So if I just did touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, I'm using the floor as a way to make my hip shoot out of the body. Push down, right? I want to push against the floor and have the hip reaction up, and then as I am finished with that, it's going to fall back down because gravity says it must. Push, release, step. Push, step. button is the floor. When I push into the floor, the butt goes bzz, and then I drop. Bzz, and then I drop. So I'm not squeezing here to lift the hip up. I'm pushing down, and I'm using my best friend, the earth, to help me dance. Push and push. The dancer has two best friends, right? The earth and the drummer. So let's go. The trance energy is very solid in this style of dance. So if you find yourself having trouble repeating the same step for a long period of time, practice that more. We gotta really get into the feelings and the grooves and not try to rush ourselves into doing something more interesting or more complicated, because the dance is based around this repetitive motion that can just be easygoing and free over and over and over. So I know you did a nice practice there, but let's get into the right mindset and let's try that whole just touch step over again. See if during the whole exercise, even when we go around, we're going to go back the other way, that you don't come out of a trance. It's just touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. Point the arm, switch, point the arm, switch, point the arm, switch, point the arm, switch. It means that you should really consume yourself with the sounds and the floor, and not consume yourself with, am I doing it right? Is it perfect? Is my mother going to laugh at me? I don't know what we're going to think, but whatever it is. So we're going to clear the mind and just listen to the do's. Into the last move. So last move we were working bump and slide. We didn't want to take the slide too far. We have to end straight. So we were on this side. We bent the knee. We went up. And now I'm going to go touch, release. Same thing we just did with the half step. Sorry, I can't see my tongue. Touch. Flat. Touch. Touches that foot. So the one we just did. Step, touch, drop, bend, lift, up, down, bend, lift, up, down. So I'm going to go to one side of my body, down, and then I'm going to touch the other side. Same foot, down, up, touch, and down, up, touch, and down, up, touch, and doom, tag, tag, doom, tag, doom, tag, tag, doom, tag, So I want the doom, the biggest movement, the two things happening at once being on the doom, and the text to be just the touch. Step, touch, step, touch, step, touch. We have the do, and do, and do, and do, and excellent. I would say it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I don't want you to get too confused. Once you understand, slide and bump, touch with the hip, slide and bump, touch. The touch has to not stay there. It's touch, release. Yeah, there it is. And touch, release, touch, release, touch, release, touch, release. We'll do half time first and then we'll go a little bit faster. With flat feet on the floor. So straight legs is hard. Yeah, just stand up straight. And once you're in a straight up position, I want you to imagine that you were just trying to, I don't know, yeah, that was, the first two that you did was perfect. I don't know how to describe it, but you're just standing there, and you're not, yes. The knees kind of go into a walking action. It's super casual, and your feet don't come off the floor. So I'm not dropping down to my plie, that move where we did all the hips before. I'm staying really pulled up, and I'm letting my knees push behind me. It's still the inner thigh, and as we practice this loose release shimmy, I want us to go into our exercises of the diaphragm. So we're going to hold the diaphragm for an extended amount of time. Let's count at 8 counts out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do it again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. Let's do it for 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. Drop. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Drop. 2, 2 comes next. 2 down, 2, 1, 2 down, 2, 1, 2 down, 2, 1, 2 down, 2 up, and up, and up, and good. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and up. Up, up. 4 down. 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 Again. Good job. And down. 2 counts. 1, 2 down. 2, 1, 2 down. 1, 2 down. Up, faster. Up. Excellent, excellent. Now, doing the plie shimmy, I wouldn't actually recommend doing any chest lifts. It's really hard to push down when you're already down into the ground. So let's use some of our snake arm movements, and then we can roll the chest forward. I just wouldn't do any lifts right here. So the lat, the muscle that already pushed down the hip, is the muscle that's going to lift through the arms. So remember, that's the side, lifting, 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 lifting. And then when we go to do our horizontal forward diaphragm. Yes, yes. And since we're in plie, we can't really do any pushing down moves, so we'll explore some other ones. Is locked in forward. The more I have that psoas locked forward, the deeper my hips are going to tuck under, the flatter my back is, the more wiggle I get. That's really nice. Yeah. So if you keep thinking what your belly button to pop through the back here, yes. That'll strengthen everything in your body, which is number one good news. Second good news, it also gives you a nice wiggle. So in a plie shimmy, my legs are essentially going up and down. And in an Egyptian shimmy, my legs are passing back and front. And those are the only two we're going to go over for our beginning class. Dancers online, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you. See everybody soon. More classes at LA Bellydance Academy.